I tripled my prices by sounding dumber. And let me explain. So when I first started, I always made a mistake. It became a really bad habit, and that was overcomplicating and over-explaining, using jargon, trying to look smart. What I realized over time was that that was stupid. It was costing me money. And when I did the exact opposite of that, it actually made me more money. When I started this agency, TrueFrame, I used to have a 20-line offer. At least half of them had really fancy names, like really fancy names. And I remember talking to a friend who has a sales background, and I was asking him to teach me a little bit of his sales skills. And he said, let's look at your offer first. And when he looked at my offer, he was shocked. He was like, what is this? What is that? What is a content operating dashboard? And to me, I was smiling on that call. I was really happy to hear him say those big words out as if it was something cool. But what I realized afterwards and what he told me was that he did not know what it was. And if he did not know what it was, he does not see the value in it. You see, he had no clue what he was paying for if he was a customer. And I really took that feedback to heart. I took many things, not that many. I took 5 things off. I changed the rest of the items to make it have its simple words, right? Such as a content operating dashboard is literally just a content dashboard. Or it could even just be a dashboard where you can see your content. And after I did that, I started closing a couple sales. I closed the first few sales. They were 4-figure sales. And a couple months later, I changed the whole offer. I actually went back, sat down, I removed a lot of unnecessary things that just made the offer look cooler or make it look like it had more value. I took those things out. I basically renamed everything. I just made it really simple. Like instead of some crazy, super highly produced motion graphics, a video short, which was one of the items, I just changed it into premium short form videos. And that made it simple. That made it clear. That made whoever who was on the other side understand instantly what it was. It was a high quality short form piece of content that we were going to help them to produce, right? And guess what happened after that? We started closing 5-figure deals. What am I trying to say? I've realized that many of us suffer from this, and it's the curse of expertise. We spent years to master our craft, and we've studied the intricacies, we've gone deep into what works, what doesn't work, and we've really dived down the rabbit hole and become specialists, experts in our fields. One issue is that we also tend to forget what it was like to be a beginner. This basically does not help. Your explanations become more complex, they become less clear, and sometimes you need to realize that your baseline level of knowledge has risen, and you just need to dumb it down and realize or remember what it was like to be a beginner. Because you see, if you have a service-based business or even product-based, anyone who's coming to you and asking for your help or buying your product or service, they are essentially beginners. Usually, they would be a beginner in the field. They probably don't know as much as you do, and that's why they need your help. And if you can show them and help them to understand that you can help them by speaking their language and speaking to them where they are at, that's where you likely see a lot of conversions. Hormozi said this once: if you can articulate the prospect's pain so clearly to them, you show that you understand exactly what they're going through and what's hurting for them, they likely believe that you can solve that issue. You can describe it so vividly. But that also comes with clarity, right? If they don't understand what you're saying, then you're definitely not where they're at and you can't solve their problem. So here's what I realized. This exact concept, even though I used it for an offer, I used it in terms of clarity of an offer, it's very related to content as well. If you're unable to speak clearly, you're unable to articulate your thoughts in a concise and broken down manner, or even at a basic level where the audience understands it, then likely you will be losing a lot of people. People don't understand where you're at, or people just assume that, oh, this person's working on something entirely different, potentially. I saw a funny joke a couple days back, and it was basically saying that you tell people that you're helping them build their personal brands, but half of these people, they don't even know what a personal brand is. And they're probably thinking you're just another video guy, right? So the irony is that making things simple is actually harder than making things complex. Anyone can throw jargon around. It takes mastery to explain something in its simplest and most broken down form, and to most importantly meet the audience where they're at. And if you're losing a lot of deals, your messaging is an issue. So if there's one takeaway from this video, lead with clarity, try to explain things as simply as you can, And after you do that, do it one more time, because you realize that you could have probably broken it down further. And the result of this that you'll likely find is, firstly, people understand you, people understand your offer, people understand your content, and people are more likely to buy from you because they understand how you can actually help them.